You are listening to Making It in the Toy Industry, episode number 246.
Welcome to Making It in the Toy Industry, a podcast for inventors, entrepreneurs, and makers like you. And now, your host, Azhelle Wade.
Hey there, toy people. Azhelle Wade here, and welcome back to another episode of Making It in the Toy Industry. This is a weekly podcast brought to you by thetoycoach.com. I just got back from a toy trip to Chicago. Yep, this past week from November 6th to the 10th was the People of Play Innovation Conference and ChiTAG Toy and Game Fair. And that's an event that I try my very hardest to attend every year. This conference is a great place to pitch your toy or game ideas. It's a great place to network. And this year I was invited back to give my talk on AI in the toy industry. The topic of my talk this year was how AI is making toy innovation and pitching easier than ever before. And not only that, I was also the MC of the show. That means I got to introduce some great speakers from Dougal Grimes, Leah Zielinski, Rachel Harmuth, to myself. And later I got to introduce Rachel Griffin and Amy Friedland for their PR and marketing talk, as well as the infamous legal panel. There was a 2-hour legal panel discussion, which was not just a talk, but also a massive Q&A. Now, we did take great notes at this show to give you a summary of some of the lessons learned from the panel discussions to these individual talks. And you can check out the toycoach.com/blog for the recap of what was taken away from the show. For this podcast episode, I'm going to share the recording of a talk that was the talk of the show, if you will. And this is my AI talk on how AI is making toy innovation and pitching easier than ever before. In this talk, you are going to learn how to 10x your toy development process with a custom GPT that I created. So as you're listening, you will hear me pointing out things on screen. You might hear gasps and reactions from the audience members. If you're getting super antsy listening, wanting to see what's going on, just head over to thetoycoach.com/learn AI, and a video is waiting for you there. You can watch the video, which will help you really take in all of the lessons that are being told in this talk. Now, please bear with me in the audio here because it was recorded at a conference, so you may hear a bit of an echo, but I thought this talk was too important to not also share on this podcast. If you've been hearing a lot about AI and how you should be integrating it into your workflow and you're feeling like, AI just makes things harder, it's not helping my workflow, this is the talk that you need to listen to. Whether you're an inventor, an entrepreneur, or a corporate toy person, there is a lot for you to take away from this talk. One of the key things I talk about is how to create an AI-enhanced workflow over an AI bottlenecked workflow. One of the key things that I talk about in this speech is how integrating AI into your workflow can either create a larger bottleneck or it can actually enhance your workflow. Not only do I explain how those two things happen, but also how to implement AI and integrate it so you get the positive attributes of AI without all the negatives. All right, without any further ado, I'm so happy to share my recording of how AI is making toy innovation and pitching easier than ever before, a speech I first shared at the Pop Innovation Conference. Yeah, let's talk about how AI is making toy innovation and pitching easier than ever before. My name is Azhelle Wade. I'm known in the industry as a toy coach. I have to have a disclaimer now. Everything I tell you to do here today is my personal opinion. Please do not do this where your company might work for if it doesn't align with their laws, their regulations of the company. Okay, so my name is Azhelle Wade, aka the toy coach, because I work with emerging inventors. I find and work with these inventors to either develop their own toy brands, get them to stores, or get their ideas licensed to product acquisition reps. So I am a coach, the toy coach. These are just some of my students who've been on boats together selling their product. We've had our own events at trade shows. I've met them in Mexico City, seeing their products on shelves. I've had over 220 students so far. I've been in the toy industry for 14 years. So it started in 2010. I have 3 patents in the industry, and 2015, 18, I was working at Toys R Us. From there, I went on to be the VP of Brand and Product at a company called Creative Kids in 2018. I started a podcast, and that podcast might be how a lot of you here know me today. I have a program, Toy Creators Academy. We have virtual pitch events. The pandemic inspired me to do this, and we keep doing it to this day. I've had incredible clients throughout my time as a toy coach, like Hasbro, working with them for the Women Innovators of Play event last year. And I also launched my own kind of trade showcase for my students. So we had a booth at the Azhelle Marketplace and Academy, and I showcased some of their products and sold it to retailers in the stores. 2024, we launched something called toycourses.com, big masterclass for the toy industry. Now, all of this was great. All this growth from starting my business as a toy coach from 2020 to now was fantastic. But it did come at a huge cost. I had all this opportunity, all these people wanting to work with me, but there was just me. Created this huge bottleneck. I couldn't quite do everything. So what did I do? I hired a team. So my team isn't full-time, but I've got some really great part-timers and freelancers. Kazima, she started with us as an intern. She's an incredible copywriter. Hannah, she's also a copywriter. We've got Chad, we've got Nika, we've got Eunice, who's an incredible graphic designer. But actually, one of these team members isn't real, and it's Chad. Chad is what my sister and I call ChatGPT. We literally say, okay, that's Chad. Chad supports the entire team. You can see how Chad opens up that bottleneck. But there was a time when Chad only created more work. So let's talk about how to integrate AI into your workflow without creating more work for your business. If you work for a big toy company, you might have the typical team structure. There's someone at the top telling everybody, this is our strategy, our plan. Some people at the middle saying, this is how we're going to do that, and people at the bottom who are executing that. Your old workflow might have ideas coming from the top, going to the middle, ideas coming from the bottom, going to the middle people showing things, people at the top, people in the middle working together to figure things out, people at the bottom working together to figure things out. And it works, but it is a little daunting. We're all feeling a little overwhelmed. Our old workflow is stressful. So now people are trying to integrate AI. And what happens when you integrate AI, represented by these pink arrows, into your existing workflow? All you do is give people a tool to generate more ideas and more work, right? So then you have people at the top generating more ideas, throwing it down to people at the bottom. You have people in the middle generating more ideas, throwing it down and up. You have people at the bottom, at the very bottom, being like, I'm trying to generate something to help me finish this work faster, but nothing AI produces is something that I can actually go to market with. So everybody's just generating what almost seems like junk, and we're wasting more time than we're saving. So let's look at an enhanced AI workflow. What does that look like? From my experience, what an enhanced AI workflow looks like is when only a few key team members use AI for a few very specific activities. So it could be someone who leads the people in the middle who's using AI to maybe figure out, refine the strategy, or just brainstorm a ton of ideas. It could be people at the bottom who are using AI to generate a bunch of ideas to bring back to the top. So we're going to dive into that some more. Before you use AI and you integrate it into your workflow, you have to know what AI is actually good for. So AI can provide support for your team. AI cannot create a sense of community. AI can provide convenience for your customers, so they can be there when you can't. AI cannot execute on its many ideas. It's going to throw up all these ideas, if somebody's got to do work, and it's not going to be AI. You need your team for that. Let's look at what I have used as my 5-step process to build an AI-enhanced workflow. And we will go through these right on, but we'll do a quick overview to start. First thing you need to do is identify the bottleneck or problem in your business that you want to solve for. After you identify this bottleneck, you've got to research various tools or integrations that can help you solve that bottleneck. Then you've got to plan it. You can't just say, okay, we have a bottleneck, this AI tool says it can fix it, throw it to your team and say, just use it. That's not going to work, that's going to create chaos, and it's not going to help your workflow at all. So you want to plan a new workflow, a new SOP or standard operating procedure that includes AI into it step by step. Then you want to run test trials with AI in place to measure the improvement. So if that task took your team, I don't know, a month in the past, when you integrate AI, does it actually take 20 days or does it take 45 days? Then the final step, step 5, is to either train your team on this new workflow or throw it out. If it was 45 days, we're not going to force AI. We're not going to say, well, AI has to work. Like, no. If it makes it longer, it doesn't work, it wasn't the right implementation, so you got to throw it away. If it does work, the huge mistake I made in trying to integrate AI into my business is thinking I can just tell someone, yeah, you just use AI for this step of the process, and that's how it works, and we're done, right? They get totally overwhelmed. It's still a new concept to so many people. So you actually have to retrain your staff as if it's their first day. I've had meetings with my new people for every step of the process to say, okay, this is phase 1 of, for me, launching a podcast episode. And this is where you're going to use AI. I want to meet with you when you're done so we can review that. And we met for 4 weeks to go through the entire process to make sure that they knew how to use it and the way that I was planning to have them use it was actually saving time. Okay, let's go into more details. Here's an example. The problem we're going to identify in this example is I do a lot of one-on-one calls. And in my one-on-one calls, I have a variety of people that come to me, but a lot of people usually come to my free calls when they have no idea if their idea is good enough and they're not sure if they should invest more time or money into it. So we ended up wasting a lot of time in this call because instead of getting contacts that they can get from me, they're getting me telling them like your idea is not ready. So I identified I was wasting a lot of time there. So I was like, okay, what AI tools can help me save time in that call, like the customer discovery process, right? I wanted to go into the research part. One thing you need to know about AI tools, there's different AI tools you can use. There are generative AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude. These are tools where you're typing in text or putting in a prompt and it gives you out usually text or an image. But then there's AI integration in programs that you probably already use, like LinkedIn. Have you ever started a post and it said, would you like AI to rewrite that? That's AI integrated into programs. There's AI integrated into programs like SmarterQueue, which is a social media posting tool. There's another tool I'll teach you a little bit later called Cast Magic, which is built on the back of AI. So in step 2, we need to figure out what do we want to use, a generative AI chatbot or AI integrated programs. But for this example, we're going to focus on ChatGPT. So we've got our old workflow. New clients come on my website, they book an intro call with me. Now this is a free call, so you know in your business this is an important call, right? The call agenda. It's normally then to improve their idea, introduce key podcast episodes that I have that can help them get ready to work with me, because they're usually not ready in that first call. So now what happens? Now we have to book a second intro call. So now I'm spending a ton of time prepping someone who may or may not work with me. And while that's fantastic for them, it's not good if I want to stay in business, right? Then what happens, that second call agenda becomes how can TCA, my program, Toy Creators Academy, help them with their idea? And then they might be ready to join TCA. Yes, okay, we're doing good. But now with the AI enhancement, how can we improve that workflow? So what I've discovered is I can create a custom AI chatbot with ChatGPT so that when new clients book an intro call, they can book that call, but they'll also get a tool that will help them refine and improve their idea before they talk to me. So when they talk to me, they come to me with this improved idea, and I can go right into, okay, I actually like this one or that one, and here's how my program can help, and then we're jumping to ready to join TCA. So that alone has a measurable piece where I can say I'm saving 30 minutes a week or per client because we don't have to do this secondary call, and they're getting inspired by a chatbot that's going to give them so many ideas in such a short time, and they can come to me with this renewed faith in their idea. How does it work? So the Make It Toy chatbot that I made allows you to input your idea. It can be as simple as nightlight race cars. It will then enhance the concept. In this example, this chatbot says, okay, great idea, Azhelle, nightlight race cars, and it calls it Glow Racers in Midnight Circuit. And it says Glow Racers is a line of light-up character-driven race cars that come to light after the dark, racing across bedrooms in an enchanted midnight circuit. Not bad for the ChatGPT. So then, what's special about my Make It Toyetic GPT is I apply this thing called the 4 Toyetic principles that I developed when I first started my podcast. When I first started my podcast, I developed the 4 ChiTAG principles. The same character personalities is 1, 2 is scalability by theme, 3 is character-specific accessories, and 4 is surprise conflict. The idea of this 4 ChiTAG principles is that this is the key principles behind some of the top brands you know from your childhood, like Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They all have these elements, and that's what make a powerful brand. This ChatGPT will apply those 4 ChiTAG principles to the idea that you enter into it. And it'll tell you how can you build on the character personalities you've already made, the scalability of the theme, what character-specific accessories can you create. After that, it says it will give you 3 different design styles. It will explain. We could do these midnight car racers in a neon text style. We could do it in a street racer style. It will number those styles, and it will say, which style do you want to move forward with? You will say 1, 2, or 3. In this case, I said 3. And then it does something that I had to do. It will break out your product line into tiered prices. So we'll have an opening price point, $10. It'll break it to a mid-range item price point and a high-ticket item price point. And then I say, generate your visuals. So then it's going to generate some visuals. Now, I know people freak out whenever ChatGPT generates visuals, but it's just a starting point, all right? It's just inspiration. But how much easier is it to sell the idea to yourself or to the investor relations rep interested? You can generate powerful visuals of what your idea can be, and then you can physically build a product, prototype, or tech that goes behind it, right? Now, I make it ChatGPT because of my experience in the toy industry. Will go further than this. It will actually render your idea in a store display with all of the boxes and the POP display in a store display. The next step, remember, is step 4, to test this all out, see how it works. We want to have measurable improvements in saving our time. We want to check this data weekly. I actually set up a Google reminder on my calendar to check my data every week for all my workflows. And then we want to survey the users of the tool. If it's your employees or if it's your future clients, how do they like working with it? So the next step is after that to train hotels. So if you want to try it, you can scan this QR code right now, and I would really like you to try it. Scan this QR code right now, and let's see what happens when you use the Make It Tyrannic GPT. I would love to have a volunteer talk us through while they're using it. Did anyone use it?
Yeah.
And what happened?
Pretty good.
Checks out.
It checks out. Thank you. Could you say what you do in the industry and then just if you have concerns about how AI is used in this way?
I'm Lev Nelson with Sky Castle. We use AI a lot in our business, from anything from marketing to just product innovation. A product like this, typically you have to start from scratch with ChatGPT. It's a lot of training, a lot of back and forth. Even building your own GPT is very technical. So this is really good execution, I think, in what you did here.
Thank you.
The idea that I just plugged in here was 2 mooses playing badminton. The image that it created for the actual in-store,
Can you airdrop this to me?
yeah, it's incredible.
No, that's not.
This part is so hard with ChatGPT, getting it to actually create something that you wanted for a realistic image. It's pretty good.
Honestly, so what I think with when you look at Midnight Racers, say you have a buyer who's sensitive to AI. I'm not going to show them this. But imagine showing this to your team, your design team, saying, redesign this whole line, you can come up with a new name, but this is the general concept, and then they can just overlay their new packaging, their new logo on something that's already built. It just will make it so much faster. Rachel?
I'm with a startup right now, and just watching the last 10 minutes is amazing to me because one of the challenges I have a really brilliant group of very young people who have phenomenal engineering skills, but trying to explain commercialization to them in a way that is not just me talking monotone, right? What you just showed right now, and the ability to use what you created to explain commercialization, exactly what you're saying. It's not that this is the answer, right? It's to show, okay, here's the questions, and then here's that sort of like visual piece of here, think podium high. It's a way to have them actively participate in that learning of how to commercialize the concepts that are in their head. This is really interesting. Other ideas for custom GPTs for inventors and product acquisition reps. Imagine if you have a custom GPT for inventors that's tailored to your brand. This, again, only that was your company allows, but imagine if you had common questions from inventors that work with you, new inventors even. Imagine if you could package elements of your wish list into a chatbot. So an inventor can just say, is this what you're looking for? And then the chatbot can say, absolutely not. They can save time in what they develop. Imagine a custom GPT to perfect your pitch as an inventor. I don't know if it's not living, but imagine you have a certain pitch style and you come with so many ideas, but actually tailoring the pitch to fit your style every single time, or even fit the style of the company you're pitching to. You could use a custom GPT to do that. Okay. So let's look at one more AI-enhanced workflow. We're going to go through the same process. Step 1, identify. For our AI-enhanced workflow, we want to first identify that bottleneck of the problem. So this is someone, a representative of someone editing a sizzle video. I know it's not, but yeah, it's better on camera. Step 2, research. Remember, we want to look at generative AI chatbots versus AI integrated programs. So for this example, I would recommend going with an AI integrated program, Magic. And I'm going to get into what that is. So the whole workflow, you invent a story game, you create a pitch deck, you create a sizzle video, you edit it, you pitch, and then you fix all your pitch materials because they were wrong or they needed more or people didn't get it or whatever. So with an AI-enhanced workflow, imagine you invent a tutorial game and you record the sizzle video and you upload it to a tool like Magic and you get back a variety of pitches that can be used for a variety of companies with different hooks, different angles, and then you just pitch. Well, that is possible. So let's talk a little bit about Magic and how it works. So Magic is a tool that essentially allows you to preset a bunch of prompts to run on one media. So you upload one video, one audio, and it will run a preset amount of prompts. This is what it looks like, so a web-based app. You log in and you actually set up what you want your prompts to be. So the examples you're going to see are ones that I've used in the past. They're sales-focused prompts, but imagine that you're using this in the perspective of pitching your product. So your prompts would be something like a pitch to a toy company that focuses on family games, a pitch to a toy company that focuses on girl products, a pitch to a toy company that focuses on adult learning games. Those would be your prompts, and then you would fill out those prompts with a little bit more detail, obviously not giving away any IP of those companies. Then you would upload your audio of your sizzle or your sizzle. I believe you can also upload a copy. I haven't done that though. And then that tool will take all that information and run all of the prompts you set. Some of those prompts could be to have it write a script for your sizzle video according to a company that you're pitching to. Some of those prompts could be to build out a pitch deck, like a slide-by-slide explanation of what your pitch deck should look like. So this, again, I told you, I've used this in the past for sales calls. What's really cool with sales calls is you can literally analyze how bad you are at selling, which I did. And so you can do the same thing with your pitches. You could upload your pitch and you could do it, and it will tell you this pitch doesn't say anything about the market you're selling to if you set up the prompt correctly. But what's great about this is when you set up all of your prompts one time, and then you can just continually feed new information without having to reset up those prompts. You can even link it to Vimeo and YouTube. So if you're someone that uploads your pitch videos there, you could have it linked so that you don't even have to input it manually. It's a really great tool. And you can even, actually, I'll back up one more. You can even have it draft an initial email to present this item. Say you are going to pitch a blue doll, and you upload the video. So Magic can output a script for your presentation to predominantly arts and crafts focused company with that doll, and it could create a script for a presentation to a predominantly doll focused company with that doll. And then it can output an email to introduce that idea without giving it away, because that's not what we do email, and invite the companies to a meeting. And it can do a specific one for every company, and you can preset all of it. It's so great. And you can actually also link this with another tool called Zapier, and this will get really technical, but I have linked it to Zapier so that the output content will automatically go into an email draft. Other useful tools that have AI integrations Imagine a tool that can give you customized pitch feedback. Like I was saying earlier, you could set this tool up to do exactly that and tell you what you're really bad at and what you're really good at. Imagine generating custom pitches for every company with one click, as I explained. And I know you can't record your pitch meetings, but you could record yourself practice pitching and you could upload it there. We have a question.
Hello, thank you very much. A lot of good information. I'm really happy to hear this because my wife and I have been developing a board game, and we've been playing with AI, and she's so terrified that people are going to find out about it, and so she feels guilty that we use it. I don't know if everyone uses, so it's encouraging to hear everyone else is using it too. Now, my question is, we don't pay anything for it. Are these programs that you're showing, are they free, or do you?
I want to answer the first part of your question. Listen, I don't know if someone's going to pull, the information you put on AI is online. We do have settings in ChatGPT that says, don't use my information to train your model. And of course, I've turned on that setting. If you haven't, go to your settings and turn that on. But we don't actually know if it's listening. I've seen reports of ChatGPT literally not listening to instructions given by people within the same conversation. So I'm gonna be real, there's a chance your information could be out there. In the same way that our information is out there online because of social media, because of things we post and share, and everything we email is online in some form or another. But I just want to be transparent about that. Second question, payment. I pay for ChatGPT happily. I just give them a whole year. You have whatever you want. It's so worth it. Task Magic, you have to pay for. AI integrations into tools you're already using, you don't have to pay for, obviously. LinkedIn, when they have AI integration. Oh, actually, Google has come out with AI integrations in Gmail that they're trying to upsell people on, but it looks like people aren't buying, right? They're giving trials, it's really weird. But honestly, I feel like AI is one of those things that we can't really get away from. At one point I did think, okay, you don't have to use it, but when I logged into my Gmail and I saw Gmail was summarizing, without my consent, emails that I was getting in my personal email, I was like, I'm sorry. These are like my doctor's emails, and it's just, unfortunately, I feel like this is something we need to learn as much as we can about it so that we can learn how to protect what we can protect. But thank you for your question. Any other questions?
I don't really have a question, but a comment. I just put in a picture of a lion that my girlfriend went to Africa, and I entered that photo and said, could you turn it into a plush?
Oh, interesting.
And it did.
Okay.
And then I said, can you turn it into a 1-minute pitch? And it did.
What's the pitch? Give us the pitch. Pretend like you're pitching to mandatory.
I just said, 1 minute. Just amazed that it just actually came up with something.
Oh, she's like scrolling deep. It's like she's been talking to it for a while. She's like this.
I've been to the wild savannas of Africa as a young lion cub, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, it's giving something. No, it's giving a little bit. And the thing with AI too, and I said this earlier, it cannot produce final work. Like you have to refine it. Stepping to the savannah is very intriguing from a consumer standpoint, but if I were a product acquisition grad, I'd be like, why do we want to step into the savannah? Like we want to step in dollars. Like how do we, there's some tweaking needing to be done. That's a good start. Yeah. Hey.
I've been told that one of the best places to practice using AI is where you are expert, because you can judge whether what you're getting back is quality or not.
Yeah.
But the challenge is, the place where I want to use it sometimes is where I don't know what the answer is, or I don't know what to do. And so as you're thinking about using it in the toy space and like for pitches and things like that, do you have any advice or guidance about where we can trust or not trust so that the feedback we're getting is the right feedback?
I know what you're saying, like I only want to use it where I'm an expert. I would then look to my team and say, hey, I want to integrate AI because I want to get out more products this year, or I want to get out more episodes this week. And I would say, I think you can use it here. Can you try it and tell me what happens? There's a store of custom GPTs if you trust the person who made them. And you mentioned earlier, ChatGPT is a great partner, and it is, and I don't know if this will work here, but I use the voice mode of ChatGPT. Hello, can you give me a new idea for a toy?
Sure thing. A toy called Juniper's Garden Adventure. It's an interactive playset where kids help Juniper, a friendly forest fairy, cultivate a magical garden.
So I literally do this all the time, but
Two things. First, I remember when you gave your AI talk last year, and I think it was very different perception this year than it was last year. People were talking on it, as you said. But I remember thinking that in 5 years, people are going to use ChatGPT as much as they use Google search engines. And it's only been 1 year, and people are already using ChatGPT even more than they're using Google search engines. I was teased at work the other 2 months ago for using Wikipedia for something. You already know Wikipedia, just ask ChatGPT for it. Second thing, your talk is bringing together many things we learned this morning between data and legal's talk about productivity and different tools for that. I think AI complements that very well. But even this morning with the keynote speakers talking about an inventor can pitch an idea about them to start collaborating with the toy company, with the IR team, with the designers. It evolves into something that's seemingly completely different than what was originally pitched. And I think AI is the same thing there. Like to someone's comment earlier, AI can come up with an idea. Who owns that idea? Like, I don't think it really matters, because by the time the human touch is involved, by the time the toy company and the designers and the IR teams are involved, it would have already evolved into something completely different than what was originally presented to you by ChatGPT or any of the other AI tools.
very true. Yes. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Clearly, you've got some great expertise
Yeah.
here as well. So where do we go from here?
Yeah, I would recommend trying to play around with building your own GPT. Step one, pay for Pro. It's worth it. Build yourself a custom GPT to help you respond to difficult emails. And then when you get a difficult email, go to that GPT and give it the email and say, help me respond to this email. If you build the GPT the right way, you tell it, I want a professional tone in my email responses, I want you to consider my business strategy, it will output something you can use. So I would start there. You have a question?
Hi, thanks for the presentation. When you're using ChatGPT or something like Midjourney and you're asking questions or you're trying to generate a picture and the picture is just not coming out how you want, and you're trying to finagle all the different settings and wording, or you're asking a question and it's not giving you answers that are adequate, how do you deal with trying to get it on the right track or dealing with that frustration?
Two things. I might start a new chat. One, because maybe there's like old information in the existing chat that's confusing it. Two, because I have a design background, I would probably take the image and pull it into Photoshop. And now Photoshop even has integrated AI. So you can, so say ChatGPT rendered the bag into mooses, right? And I was like, I told you to make the mooses purple, and it won't make freaking mooses purple. So I will pull it into Photoshop, and then in Photoshop, you can select the mooses and you can just make it purple. Or you can do the old school way and use like the slider and do that. So that's what I would.
If you ask it if an invention you have that you're thinking about doing is something that exists, if it doesn't find it, then there's a good chance that no one's come up with it yet.
I wouldn't say that. Honestly, there are so many other. I would maybe trust a question like that a little bit more to Google Gemini because Google is connected to Google Patents.
Yeah, that's fine. Either one, just using multiple different angles.
So AI, there is a chance it could hallucinate. I wouldn't be investing $10,000 into an idea before doing my own research and maybe hiring a lawyer to do some patent research for me. I've had students pitch me things where I'm like, I saw that at Holiday Play, which isn't online yet, but I know it's out. So it might be that up to date.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so remember when integrating AI process is key, here's the process again that I explained earlier. Identify the bottleneck in your business. Research the type of AI tools you want to use. Is it a chatbot or is it AI integration? 3 is plan. Plan for how you're going to integrate it. Build a little simple flowchart of where you think AI can integrate and what it can replace. Test that concept, test it 3 to 5 times over and over again, make sure it actually works. Maybe it's not for idea exploration, maybe use it for pitch writing, right? Pitch writing. Fifth step, train your talks. Don't be afraid to throw it out the window. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You're not forcing anything. You will lose time doing that. I did. If you want help creating an AI workflow, please feel free to contact me. It's ACHELLE@thetoycoach.com. And thank you guys so much. I'll see you next week.
Well, there you have it, toy people. I hope you enjoyed that talk. Again, if you want to learn more about how you can utilize AI in the way that I explained in this talk, head over to thetoycoach.com/learn AI, or you can go to thetoycoach.com/AI and it will bring you right to the correct page. We also do have a number of other podcast episodes on this topic. So if you want to learn more about AI from me, all you need to do is go to thetoycoach.com/podcast, look for the search bar, and in that search bar, type in AI. That will show you all of the podcast episodes that we've had come out about this topic. Now, AI has changed a lot over the years. So keep in mind that when you search these old episodes, they were created when AI was kind of new. So it won't have all of the latest updates and ways to use the programs. Now, if you were one of the many people I met at ChiTAG and who came up to me and said they love this podcast, hello, and thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Before we close out today's episode, I'd like to read a review from a fellow listener. This review comes from Trace Callie Boy. I don't know why it took me so long to discover this podcast, but had I been listening to this earlier, I probably could have avoided a lot of mistakes and made more headway more quickly. Azhelle's insights, wit, humor, and charisma exudes throughout each episode. Her guests are titans in the toy industry, and whether you're new to the industry or a seasoned veteran, there is a lot of information here that's super helpful. It's a very friendly community, and Azhelle does a great job of showcasing that with her interviews and insights. Don't let her easy demeanor and inquisitive questions fool you. This girl is smart as a whip, and the depth of her knowledge about this industry runs extremely deep, much more than she often humbly shows. If you only have time for one podcast each week, this should be the one. It's superb. Thank you so much for that incredible review. Now, if you also love this podcast and you haven't already left a review, what are you waiting for? Your reviews are what keeps me motivated to keep coming back week after week, sharing my industry insights and inviting my friends and people I don't know on this podcast to share their insights with you as well. As always, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I know there are a ton of podcasts out there, so it truly means the world to me that you tune into this one. Until next week, I'll see you later, toy people.
Thanks for listening to the Making It in the Toy Industry podcast with Azhelle Wade. Head over to thetoycoach.com for more information, tips, and advice.